Thank you for joining us for our Burleigh County 4-H Virtual Project Day. Today we're going to be painting an acrylic pop art style painting of a dog. I started out with 4 brushes, different sizes, and the canvas that I have is an 11 by 14. We're going to be starting out with a yellow color of paint, and the paint colors I used were yellow, orange, red, blue, white, and black. To start out with, we're going to be making an ombre background, kind of white mixed with yellow, fading into orange, and then I mixed white and red to make a pink. And you just kind of keep working on that ombre until you're satisfied with it. I just keep mixing my colors until I'm happy with how the background looks. And make sure you don't forget to paint the sides of your canvas if you want to hang this up or display it somewhere. It looks really nice and finished. I went ahead and printed out a stencil of the dog. So when I do the paint splatters around the outside, I don't have paint splatters inside where I want to paint the dog. What I did was started out with the white paint, put quite a bit on the edge of my brush, kind of a smaller brush, and you just sort of flick it with your finger. And I did the white splatters all the way around the canvas. If your paint is having trouble kind of coming off of there, you can dip it in the water and that makes it a little bit thinner, so it does make better splatters. The next step is to do the yellow splatters on just the right hand side and to do blue splatters on just the left hand side. And you do those splatters the exact same way as the white. You can do as many as you want to as well. The next step, I have a stencil I printed out of the dog face, and I just outline this with white, and I use a pretty small brush for this. And this way it gives me a good shape of what I'm going to be painting. I do outline the face of the dog. These are really good guide points when you go back and actually paint the colors in. I also draw a rough outline of where I want the fur and the body of the dog to be. I also paint the dog white. Had a little blue on my brush. That way it helps the paint, since it's sort of translucent, the yellow, cover really, really good. Once my white paint is dried in the background, I go ahead and kind of draw those points on the dog's face that I want to highlight. The nose, the eyes, the inside of the ear. These guidelines help me paint the colors in later. The first color that I'm going to actually use on the dog is black, since it is the darkest color we're using. I just start outlining his nose, and I ended up doing about 3 coats of black just to get a nice even coverage. The next color I'm going to add is dark blue. Mix just a little bit of black with your blue. Black will make it quite a bit darker. And I just follow the colors in the original picture and add dark blue on his kind of mouth and nose area, and a little bit on his eye, and just a couple spots down on his fur, on his body. Towards the end of this painting, I do go in and add some more blue. We're just kind of making a starting point and making some adjustments later. I'm trying to follow the picture, but you can kind of do your own thing if that's what you'd like to do. And I clean my brush in between each of these colors. We're going to be working from the darkest color to the lightest. So black, dark blue, light blue, orange, yellow, white. And then we're going to go back through and add some finishing touches when we're done. We're also going to make a pink color for the inside of the ear. Now I'm mixing my light blue. Just grab a little bit of white. And same thing, just add it wherever you think it looks good. I really go off the reference picture. Less is more in paint as well. Just dab a little bit of paint on there. Make sure you just have a little bit on your brush. And remember, this type of painting is done in pop art, so the use of color is really fun and effective in adding movement. The brighter the better, I think. Alright, now we're down to using orange. I started at the top and just worked my way down. Your dog should really be coming to life right now. And make sure you put some pops of color in the blue side just to kind of help movement in that painting a little bit. I'm going to use my yellow next, and I have a pretty bright yellow here. Stands out a little bit from the ombre in our background. And the yellow is really why we wanted to paint the background white. Yellow is pretty transparent, so having the white background makes it cover better. When I got here, I thought that we should put a little bit more dark blue in there, just for some highlights. So I finished up with my yellow and just added some more blue. Did some light purple in his ear as well. And now I use kind of a pink color to fill in the bottom of his ear. And just to sort of blend his nose, how it is in the picture, I kind of blurred out that dark blue and that black together. Kind of blends that nose in a lot better. On the reference picture, the nose has a red circle on it. So we're going to paint white first and then put red on top of it. That way it's not very transparent. It'll show up really well. And I'm just putting in a few more touches of blue before we're done. You can add them wherever you think they look good. And this is my favorite part. We get to use the black. We're going to outline the dog with a thin black line everywhere. This helps us create those shapes like his ear, his nose, his mouth, and the movement in the fur. You're just going to go slowly around the dog, especially around the outside. For his eyes, I just kind of do little V's, like he's blinking almost. Add in his little eyebrows. Then I work my way down the ear. The fur is where you can get really creative. My fur looks like sideways V's. Just kind of a few of them are pointing up, a few of them are pointing down. I just start on one side and work my way through the body. And the black is what's helping his fur get that shape. I added just a few black dots outside of the fur, outside of the dog, to add some movement. I also added small lines around the ear. We're also going to add some highlights. Once everything is nice and dry, I take white dots and dot the top of his nose to create a glare, a couple on his mouth, a couple on his eyes, and a couple just down in the body. They really pop on that black outline. And there you have it. You've completed your acrylic pop art style wet dog painting. Shoot us a picture, or better yet, bring it to our Burleigh County 4-H Achievement Days.